Howdy, gang, and welcome to the first ever. And sorry about those. I just put up the stuff or put a post about me and Steve's 11th wedding anniversary, and people are commenting on it and having reactions to it and stuff like that. So, uh, pardon the noise in the background, but welcome to the first ever. It just doesn't matter, and I don't know if Blissful is in here, but she messaged me a little bit earlier. I had to like send her a quick message, and I promised her I'd elaborate. And there she is. Hey, Blissful. And I told her, no, I'm not upset. I think she thought by the title of this, it just doesn't matter that I was, agitated or upset about something. No, I am groovy. I got my Tito's punch, which has become my regular, kind of Friday afternoon thing. And they gave me a bigger one today. I'm used to getting those little cups with the Tito's punch in it. I was like, hot dog. They must have known it was my wedding anniversary. They gave me more boots. So, anyway, I ate a little bit of salad. Hopefully, while this is going on, I won't have to grab anything else to eat. But if I do, I know you guys will totally understand. But the reason why I'm premiering or debuting this new stream is because, and Candace, told me that I could tell everybody, that I could let people know what happened to Friday Foolish today. Well, what happened to Friday Foolish was this. Candace, we had planned this all week, but we're all human, guys and gals. We all forget things. We get mixed up on our days and all of that. And that's what Candace did. She thought yesterday was Wednesday and not Thursday. And she sent me a message last night late, um that where she was talking about having to take her mom to the eye doctor, which was an hour and a half away from where they are, and that they were going to eat at Golden Corral and they were going to go to Five Below. And I was like, I bet she's mixed up our days or forgot about Friday Foolish, or something's happened. So I messaged her back late last night and I said, hey, if you're not able to do Friday Foolish, I'll do some rearranging, some rescheduling. Bless her heart, she messaged me this morning early at 7:30 this morning and said, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I was mixed up on my days. Hey, guys and gals, and it's like I told her, that's going to happen from time to time. I get mixed up on my days. I overbook myself and overextend myself and do all kinds of things. And you've got to help your family out when they need you. That's just a given, right? So I told her, I said, look, hey, John, we're not really getting, paid for this. I might get paid, something from YouTube every 6 to 12 months. And you're talking about maybe $100 a pop or a little over $100. So this is not a business venture per se. So I told Candace, I said, you know, we're not really getting paid for this. It's not a big deal. I can do rescheduling. And hey, I wanted to try out this new show. And you know, we got 5 people in here right now. Maybe, you know, this will catch on. It'll catch fire or whatever. Not literally, but you know what I mean. So, what we're going to do today, this is the first ever, like the debut, the premiere of It Just Doesn't Matter. And the reason why I came up with this, in case anybody cares, is I was recently rewatching Meatballs with Bill Murray. And there is a scene where everybody at the camp, at Camp North Star, is feeling down in the dumps because essentially they're losing the Olympiad against the rival Camp Mohawk. And so I always loved this scene. This scene always got me pumped up and feeling better about myself if I was feeling bad. And, you know, he starts this chant, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And everybody, you know, it catches fire and everybody starts the chant. So that's kind of what I want to do with this new show is to get people excited about different things. Now, right now, this is not going to be like a regular weekly stream. It's just going to be right now, it's just going to be a placeholder for when we can't do the regular programming. I'll stick one of these in here and I'll do a It Just Doesn't Matter for a, a different topic. Okay. So this debut topic is, so you want to start your own YouTube channel? Do it. Because you know what? It just doesn't matter if everybody and their mother has a YouTube channel. If it seems like everybody and their mother has 1,000 plus subscribers, it just doesn't matter because you can still do it. Let's get excited about it, you know. And I'm going to give you a few tips today. If anybody in here that's watching the stream wants to ask me a question, I've had, you know, a few people come to me behind the scenes and say, hey, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, doing my own YouTube channel. Do you have, you know, any suggestions like about equipment or how should I go about this? And I'm not gloating or anything. It's not like 10,000 people were coming to me, but a few friends behind the scenes had asked me about things. Other people have said that, you know, they're nervous. They want to start a YouTube channel. They want to start doing streams and videos, but they're nervous about it. You know, people are always going to feel like they're falling on their face, or they might fall on their face when they start a new adventure. Um, and, um, you know, I want to kind of try to alleviate some of that stress, some of that worry. Um, because you know what? You put yourself out there, there's always going to be an audience. It may not be an extremely large audience at first. It may never get extremely large. But the important thing is that you get out there and you have fun because that's what you're supposed to do, in my opinion, with a YouTube channel or any kind of like thing where you're putting yourself out there and you're talking about a topic that you feel passionate about. In my case, a lot of times it's horror films, right? But we talk about other things on here. Um, and so what I'm hoping is if you already have an established channel, and there goes another message on Facebook. If you already have an established channel that either you are working on yourself or with your spouse or with friends, um, or even, you know, with other family members, um, I I want you to know that you should keep at it. You should keep at it. Don't fall into some of those traps that I fell in over time of feeling depressed, feeling that certain circumstances beyond my control may cause me to lose subscribers, right? But I lost a few subscribers, about a month or so ago, right? A couple months ago. And guess what? I've gained those back. It's probably not the same people, but for every downfall, it's not really a downfall, a slide, things will pick back up, right? And I've had other friends kind of, push me back up there, kind of like a push up bra, right? I know my analogies are kind of weird sometimes, but sometimes we need that little, pat on the back. You're doing great things, or you're doing good things, and you really make a difference in the YouTube community or whatever community that you're putting this information out on. Okay. So I want to do the same thing for you guys that are in here now, that may watch this later, that my friends and my family have done for me. Okay. So, I see John's put some messages in here. John says, I'm on a podcast with 3 friends and we have a YouTube. I've considered doing my own thing too as well, but time is always a big consideration. I feel like a lot of the bigger channels post a lot. John also says, I don't see how people keep up with Instagram and YouTube and all of it. It's kind of exhausting, LOL. I barely have enough time to work and go out and just chill. And John, I have been there, done that. And I understand sometimes you feel like you're spread too thin. I have done that with my own channel. And in fact, I'm probably adding insult to injury, but I'll explain this a little bit. I have started a sister channel to Deadites on Deck with Candace called Waiting on Woodstock, which is going to be radically different in programming than Deadites on Deck. But what I discussed with Candace, because we have discussed things back and forth about the way that we want to handle the sister channel, is that I say I do so many live streams with the main Deadites on Deck channel that I think it would be in our best interest, both of our best interests, to do a lot of pre-recorded stuff for the sister channel. And so people that aren't necessarily all gung-ho about Deadites on Deck and the programming that's on there, or they're not into horror films or whatever, maybe they're interested in the 1960s and the Woodstock era culture, the music, the books, the films at that point in time. So that's one of the things, and Candace helped me come up with that. I'm going to give full credit to her of having a sister channel, and then I kind of took that and ran with it and got back with her and said, "What do you think of this?" You know, so she kind of got me out of one of my slumps that I was in a few weeks back, where I was just feeling like. Uh, Again, due to circumstances beyond my control, I felt like my Deadites on Deck channel was floundering, that it was failing, that I was losing my grasp on it, and I was really, really depressed. And when she came up with that, I was like, you know, this is what I need. I needed a good, swift kick in the butt to get myself out of the slump I was in, right? And sometimes we all need that, right? And I'm not saying that John needs a good, swift kick in the butt. I'm saying, maybe think about doing more pre recorded stuff, because I'll tell you, I've started doing more pre recorded stuff for Deadites on Deck, and it allows me more freedom, okay? Because here's how it allows me more freedom, because guess what? If I do pre-recorded, all I got to do is make sure I put that video out on the day that I say I'm going to, right? And I try to do that. But I can sit down at my computer and I can record that thing any damn time I want to that day. Because I haven't even done my Terror Time Tea, which is now pre recorded. When I was doing all live streams for the most part, it severely hampered me, guys and gals. I ain't even going to lie about it. And the reason was I was doing too many lives, and I was like, okay, Danny, you got to be here at your computer, ready to go with an intro, with, all of that stuff. You have to have what you're going to talk about so you don't sound like you're talking out of your butt about this. And movies that I had to watch and have them done by 8 o'clock at night, Eastern time, right? So it was putting a lot of pressure on me that I didn't need. I could still put out the content, but wouldn't have the pressure on me of having to be sitting here at my computer with the webcam on, with my microphone on, and doing this at a set time. Okay. I'm still doing lives like this one because I enjoy doing lives. I love interacting in real time with you guys and gals. Okay. But I have cut back on the amount of live streams that I do. And, you can put yourself out there. I know Blissful said, John, you should drop your YouTube link. That is a very good idea because dropping your links different places in a friendly environment, which I hope Deadites on Deck is a friendly environment, um, is a way to get like-minded people to see, oh, hey, this guy or gal has got a channel and I can just visit this link and I can check out their stuff and decide if I want to join or subscribe or whatever. John says it's the Horror Sanctum podcast. That's the name, Blissful. I don't think it lets me post links, sadly. Hopefully, John, I like to see you try it out because I do have you as a moderator. But if ever it won't let you post them, I can post them. I noticed Blissful went on and posted it for you. So we're all here to help out and to help people promote their stuff any way we can. But anyway, I kind of gave like a probably albeit long-winded intro to kind of what I want to do with this, right? Or what I want to do with this particular stream. Also, I'll promote me and Steve while I'm at it here because I've already talked about the Waiting on Woodstock channel. But me and Steve also started our new channel because, and I don't think Steve would mind me saying this. Is that you guys all know probably that Steve had the Eurocult show that he did for a long time. And then I came on board and we did the Eurocult show with a couple other guys. And that kind of screeched to a halt. And I'm not going to go into details, but Steve made the ultimate decision to stop that. Now, it may come back at some point with me and Steve, or maybe me and Steve and somebody else. I don't know. But in the meantime, we did start We Watch Movies, which is another channel that we have on YouTube. And about every 2 weeks, me and Steve talk about the movies that we have watched in the past 2 weeks. Um, and we we had fun with our debut show. You can check that out on Deadites on Deck or the We Watch Movies channel. And I promise I'll quit promoting my own self. John, you say who do you watch mostly these days, YouTube wise? Just curious. It can be horror or non-horror YouTubers. I always love to hear people's fave channels. Well, John, I love to watch the stuff that y'all do. Sadly, I don't watch it on a regular basis. Um, and I'm not just saying that because you guys are because you're in here. I really do like the content y'all are putting out. When Candace and Chris do their Death by Stereo stuff, I love to watch it. Um, and A lot of stuff that I've been watching lately is just whatever strikes my fancy. I'll see something pop up in my YouTube feed as a like a recommendation. I'll say, "Oh, I'm going to check this out," or I'll watch movies on there sometimes. The ones that haven't gotten yanked off of there, but I like to, you know, check out a wide variety of stuff. There are people that I've subscribed to lately since I started the Deadites on Deck shop, that do, t-shirts and tumblers and do all that kind of stuff with the sublimation. And I've been watching a lot of that stuff and been learning by example. Sometimes I watch people make a certain recipe. I like to do that occasionally as well. Reviews. I like to watch reviews that people have done for different movies. Um, Something that I know is a big thing that people like to watch, especially those people that like a lot of movies, horror movies in particular. I see a lot of this. But I must say that I'm not really interested in that so much. I'm not saying it's a bad thing because it seems to be a very lucrative thing. It's something very popular right now. I'm just saying I don't watch it because unless Steve just has it on. When, like places like Vinegar Syndrome or Severin or something are having big sales, people will take to YouTube and say, "Hey, this is what I'm getting," or "Hey, this is what's on sale." Those halfway to Black Friday, the Black Friday sales, and all that stuff. That seems to be a very popular thing that a lot of people watch. Me, I'm just not too keen on it. Um, Blissful says Indoor World, which is Cottage Core Channel, and Guru Ravi. Yeah, I've been wanting to watch a lot more Ravi Shankar too. John says, "My wife and I have an entire YouTube playlist of random stuff, non horror. Mine is all horror and movies. If you like comedy, check out Chelsea Lynn, aka Trailer Trash Tammy. She's hilarious." I'm going to have to check that out, John. That sounds really interesting. Blissful says, "My feed is all meditation and Eastern philosophy, which I love." I love that you guys are going back and forth here in the chat. I love seeing the interaction with people and talking about different things. So I'm just going to go on to one of the other topics which I wanted to talk about on here today. And y'all just keep putting stuff in the chat because I love that. A lot of people, well, several people have told me that they want to do YouTube stuff, but they're scared to be on camera. They're camera shy. I've even had people say it scares the crap out of them, the thought of getting on a webcam and talking to a group of people. And I was like that at first. When I had my first YouTube channel, which I think was just Evil Dead Chick, um, I didn't want to be on camera hardly at all, right? And I still, if I was to think about it, because I'm not no Raven Beauty, guys and gals, and I'm not asking for, "Oh, Dana, you're beautiful," and all that. No, I'm not asking for that. I'm just saying I know that I'm as plain Jane as they come. but the point is, I'm not on here to uh, say, "Look at me, world, I'm beautiful." And maybe that's not what some of these beautiful people are doing either. But they got the looks and they probably feel a little more comfortable. Some of them probably feel comfortable being on there. Some of them probably are show offs. But there's probably another faction of them that are beautiful people, but they don't see it, right? So you're thinking, oh my gosh, they're drop dead gorgeous or whatever, or that guy is sexy as all get out. Why can't they see that? Well, that's an internal struggle that a lot of people have, I think. But the point being is that it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what your weight is. It matters what you are talking about. That's what's going to make a difference whether you're going to get an audience. And if people are only looking to watch people for eye candy, then those are not the kind of people that you want watching you, right? I can do without that personally. Hey, Terry. Terry says, I listen to horror stories and narrations, cooking channels, the Wi-Fi files. My husband's really big into the Wi files. And I'll tell you what, I like the Wi files, but I love Hecklefish. Hecklefish is my favorite. Mostly foolishness. Well, people could call the stuff I watch foolishness, but basically at this point, I don't care about that. But um, and here's the other side of that coin on why you might want to do a YouTube channel. Don't go into this thinking, I'm going to get thousands and thousands of followers. Because guys and gals, in the real world, that doesn't happen to the majority of YouTubers. It just doesn't. You have to go into this not expecting to have a bunch of followers, not expecting to make a lot of money. I don't make a lot of money with this. I can't quit my day job. So you got to go into this because you have a love and a passion for something. In my case, I have a love and a passion for horror movies, and I want to share that love with other like-minded people. Okay. Um, some people create their channels around drama. I personally feel that that's not the way to create a channel. You may get lots of followers, you may get lots of subscribers, you may get lots of views on your channels, but is that really the right way to go about it, right? Um, I always tell Steve, "Hun, you can watch what you want on YouTube. It's none of my business." Um, but I said, "I am just so tired of seeing people get on YouTube or one of these other streaming services and fight back and forth with each other, calling people liars, calling people pedophiles, doing all this stuff." And I hope I don't get in trouble for saying the word pedophile. Um, but accusing people of being liars all the time and stuff like that, bullying, all of that stuff, because is that really entertainment? I don't think that that is entertainment. Um, so I would suggest not building a YouTube channel on something like that. Um, there's a guy now, and he may be lying, you know, about being sick. Okay. And everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of these other YouTubers have just grabbed onto this and have just unmercifully, attacked this guy. You're a liar. Let's produce diagnostic results saying you have this and all that. It's like, what the heck? And Steve says, well, Dana, if you put yourself out there like that, um, then you're going to get that. I was like, okay. There have been times in the past where I didn't go around asking for trouble, and trouble came to me, right? Um, so I just don't believe that. People want to make a career on bashing other people. And I want no part of that. I want no part of that community. And I'm not on here to like try to, say, you watch what you want, you can enjoy what you want, you can create whatever channel you want. But for my own peace of mind, I would rather just get on here and talk about things I love, things I'm passionate about, instead of bashing other people on the internet. I honestly, I don't care what other people are doing on the internet. As long as it's not hurting me and my family or hurting anybody else severely, have at it, right? And if they want to lie about having an illness, guess what? The only person that it's hurting is them. It's not hurting anybody else. You know, uh, John, you say I've considered doing more on TikTok. A lot of people do like TikTok, John. Um, and if that's your jam, I would say go for it. I'm talking in generalities here and talking about YouTube, but there are other things that you can do like TikTok. Short reviews for movies and TV shows. Yeah, that would be perfect. Terry, you say Hecklefish is the best. He certainly is. John, you say, I'm trying to keep up with these Gen Z kids. Yeah, I don't know. I think I kind of give up on trying to keep up with Gen Z or anything else. So, another thing let's talk about. This is something that people have asked me behind the scenes. Is about equipment to do these live streams or to do videos, pre-recorded or live streams, whatever you decide to do. And what I've told some of the people that have asked me, well, if anytime anybody asks me about equipment, they're like, "Hey, Dana, I was thinking about getting this, this, and this. What is your opinion?" And so I give my opinion. Keep in mind, this is only my opinion. But one of the things I tell people that are starting out, especially, because this may be something that you tried out and you're like, no, this ain't for me. I'm not going to, I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay. So let's say that you went out and bought the top dollar best of everything going in. And then you decided, after a few streams or a few videos, you're like, no, not doing that anymore. Don't want to do that. Okay. So let's say you spent $1,000 on equipment. Now, I may be stretching way out there. You plunk down $1,000 for equipment. And then what are you going to do with this equipment? Are you going to try to resell it, which chances are you're not going to get what you paid for it? Okay. So you're going to wind up losing money in that. So what I tell people is I say, start out small. You can get you a decent webcam for under $100. And there are tweaks you can do to whatever webcam you get. Like, for instance, if you want to get a lower end Logitech webcam, right? And Terry, I'm going to read your comment there because that makes a very, very good point too. Because there are times when I do that as well. So you can buy a decent webcam. There are tweaks you can do to make it look even better. I've done that with my webcam, and my webcam is not a super expensive webcam. Okay. But once I made the tweaks, I was like, "Hey, I'm liking how things look in this. It's looking better." Because a lot of people will say, "Get a DSLR camera, and you'll look crisp, and you'll pop, and all that." Yeah, but the thing is, DSLR cameras are $300 and up. Okay. And if you're not sure that you're going to continue with this, and even me, I came to the conclusion that I was like, yeah, I think I'll stick with tweaking the settings on my Logitech webcam and going about it that way. My microphone, that's another thing. Some people get really high in microphones. This is a lower end microphone, but I do have a cover on it that blocks out some of that boop, boop, boop. You know, they have screens that come with them. This is just attached to my desk with a you know, a fairly reasonably priced arm to put it on, right? And if you stick with YouTube or whatever the streaming service of choice is that or the platform that you choose to put your stuff on, um, later on down the road, you might want to upgrade. But for starting out, um, I would say keep it a little on the cheaper side, keep it small, don't blow it way out. Okay. There are other things that you can get. Later on down the road, I have a green screen over here that's like a pull up green screen that I haven't used in forever, and I want to start using it again. But this is a perfect example of why you don't spend a lot of money. Because guess what? Some stuff ends up sitting in the corner and you just get lazy and you don't utilize it as much as you should. But Terry makes a very good point. She says, I watch some channels, they record on their cell phones and it's fine. In fact, for me, it's more than fine, which is actually the brand name of my microphone is Fine. Look them up on Amazon. They got good prices. But I totally agree with that because let me tell you, I use my cell phone. I do. And it comes out crystal clear. It pops and everything. Um, and I use that primarily when me and Steve do our Highway to Hell segments and we're going to see a movie. And I don't have my webcam, I don't have my microphone. But anybody that has seen our Highway to Hell segments, and I put 3 of them out here recently, one for Maxine, one for Deadpool and Wolverine, and one for Longlegs. You will notice that the video is crystal clear. It's great. I mean, there's some background noise of Steve driving and stuff like that, but that's to be expected. Okay. And I'm really proud of the way those videos look, except my framing is off, but that's me. That's my fault. That's not the cell phone's fault. So, very good point, Terry. I'm glad you brought that up. Um, so, another thing to get back to people feeling uncomfortable on camera. Sorry, I'm slurping on that drink there. A lot of people are very nervous, and it's getting very cloudy outside, so I may have to tie this up a little earlier than I had anticipated, especially if it starts rumbling thunder, because I could lose power or anything else. We've been having some hellacious storms the last few days. I hope the weather is better in other places than it has been in good old Louisville lately for the past week. But um, I was very uncomfortable when I first started my first YouTube channel. And a lot of times I would not be on camera. You would see my hands and stuff like that, and I'd be showing movies and stuff like that. You would hear my voice, but I would not be on camera. Okay. And honestly, one of the big things that kept me from being on camera when I first started that channel was the fact that I was overweight, and was not proud of my appearance or anything like that. Okay. I'm still not the weight I want to be, but I don't consider myself overweight, right? Um, but people feel uncomfortable for a variety of reasons. They may not be happy with their looks. They may not be happy with their hairstyle. They may not be happy that their skin's oily and they got blemishes. See, I've got blemishes right now that I meant to cover up and I did not. They're not happy because maybe they can't afford to buy the best clothes or anything like that, that they got to get clothes at Walmart or whatever. There's nothing wrong with any of those things, folks. But I understand, feeling uncomfortable, especially if this is the first time you've ever been on camera for any length of time, right? So, in those cases, it's best to ease yourself into it, right? So, whereas I started out where I wasn't on, a lot of times I wasn't on camera, right? So, when I started the new channel, the Dead Ice on Deck channel, I got to the point where I want to be more personable. I don't want to be just a voice behind the camera. And this was just me, folks. I'm not saying this is what people have to do. And I thought maybe it would be better. Maybe it would put other people at ease that's coming into these streams or watching my videos. If they had a face to go with the voice, right? And so I gradually started coming on the live streams. And I started out, I would come on Steve's, and you guys that were watching back then will have noticed that I popped up on Steve's streams from time to time. And then the Eurocult show, which started out as audio, became a stream, essentially. Okay. So I was on there then. And then I would do various ones with Steve. We even did a video commentary one time for Terror on Tour. And, that was fun. That was really fun. I think we did that with OBS instead of StreamYard, which we'll get to different streaming platforms here in just one second. But I had to ease myself into it. And now, for the most part, I don't even notice that I'm sitting here looking at myself on the camera. And nobody wants to, I'm not trying to get grabby, but nobody wants to be sitting here and a big green booger falls out of their nose or a snot bubble showing up or something like that. But guys and gals, the chances of that happening are really, really rare. And so I would try not to worry about that too much. And just be yourself. Be who you are. Don't try to be anybody else. Don't try to be a tough guy or gal if you're not. Just come on here and be yourself. And treat this as a conversation you're having with a friend. Okay? Let's say you wanted to tell your friend about some cool new movie you saw or a cool a collectible that you saw or a record or a book or whatever. Just think about it in those terms, okay? Something else I would suggest is I see some people getting a little too personal with their streams. Now, I'm not saying you can't do that, and I have done it in the past. But what I have learned in my case that I was asking for trouble whenever I did that. Because that gives people that only exist in this world to be trolls to have fodder to harass you with or bully you with or go and tell other people about. And it kind of it invites trolls into your streams. Now, I'm not saying you won't get trolls otherwise. That's something else we could have a whole, stream on is trolls. But I have found for me personally over time is it's better to keep things on a surface level, right? If you want to talk to your friends in private about things like your job or your marriage, troubles with other friends, stuff like that. I think that's best left between maybe a couple of people in private, two or three people in private, and not the whole damn world, right? So, and I think people don't realize sometimes they get on here, they think everybody that watches their streams, because I had this misconception, everybody that watches your streams or everybody that might watch this later on is your buddy, it's your friend, it's your pal. It's okay to let loose. Sometimes that comes back to bite you, and it's bitten me in the butt more times than I can count, right? It's opened me up to being ridiculed in public and brought me way, way down to a very depressed state of mind. Okay. And I don't want to see that happen to anybody else. Okay. So keep the private stuff private, I would suggest. Um, and keep the fun stuff out there, because share your passion and your love for different movies and books and music and collectibles or whatever you're talking about. You could have your own t-shirt business, right? If you're passionate about that, want to talk about that, that's cool. But one of the big things is, I would almost have this on a rule sheet: keep the private things private. Okay. So moving on to different platforms. Now, of course, the most popular platform and the one that you hear the most about is YouTube, right? But there are many, many others, and they're escaping me right now. But you could go Google it. Google is your friend, right? So you could put streaming platforms or something like that and see what comes up. Okay. And if you guys and gals that are in here right now know any platforms to stream on, feel free to put them there in the chat. And also, there are many, many programs that you can use to put your content on, connect to YouTube or whatever other streaming platform you may be using. I use StreamYard. The StreamYard was suggested to me a long, long time ago, and I held off. I was resistant. Me and Steve used OBS, which OBS is really good too. OBS, you can do several things that you can't yet do on StreamYard. So I think it's really a matter of preference. OBS is completely free software. There's one perk, right? StreamYard is not. They do have a free version that you can use all you want and stuff like that. But if your channel gets a little bigger and you're wanting to expand and you're wanting to customize things, then StreamYard, upgrading your StreamYard might be the way to go. Okay. Um, I hope my husband's not watching this right now, because I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret, is that I'm paying about $50 or so a month for my StreamYard. I'm not telling you that you have to go that route if you choose StreamYard. I just like some of the perks, and Steve always laughs at me when I mention perks. He's like, "You got to get the perks, right, Dana?" Well, yeah, some things, not everything. But as my channel grew a little bit, and let me just put things on pause here. When I say my channel got more popular, I'm not talking about, oh, I'm the king of YouTube or queen of YouTube. No, 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 no. Far from it. But I've gained a few subscribers along the way here and there, right? So as my channel grew, I discovered that I needed certain things. And so that's why I bumped up, you know, StreamYard. Okay. I like to be able to add, several people on the stream if several people want to come on the stream with me, right? And there were other things, but you can check out StreamYard. You can check out the OBS software, which, like I said, it's open source, it's free. OBS is, and that StreamYard does have a free level. But also keep your options open, because I'm sure OBS and StreamYard are not the only games in town, right? That's the only two I've used, though. But so I've talked about a few different things, and I wanted to keep this about an hour, right? And we're at 50 minutes right now. And if it doesn't storm, I will attempt to go on another 10 minutes or so. And so I'll open this up for questions if there's still anybody in here that wants to ask me questions. You can ask me about my channel. You can ask me, just like John put in here earlier, he was asking about the YouTube channels that people like to watch, right? Um, so if you want to put some questions out there for me in the last few minutes of the stream, I'll be glad to try to answer them as best I can. And if I don't get any questions, I may cut this off a little bit earlier, but I kind of wanted to, kind of like I'm doing a presentation and then I have a Q&A, right? But while I'm waiting to see if anybody has any questions, I did want to mention that I do have a Discord now for Deadites on Deck. Some people are probably getting really tired of hearing me talk about this Discord, but it is free to join. Doesn't cost you anything. Oh, Terry, very good. I did forget to talk about lighting. Um, Lighting, that is an important thing, because I know that people talk about, hey, the video looks all blown out or washed out or whatever. Part of that is settings on your camera, but it is also good to have good or pretty decent lighting. Now, what I have an overhead, like, fluorescent type light that I can change the colors. I can make it cooler, like more of a blue if I want to. I can just make it a regular, you know, like a 60-watt bulb, and that's what I've got it set on now. But there's different settings. You can brighten it up, you can make it a little dimmer, and all that. And this was reasonably priced. I don't remember the exact price, but I did get it from Amazon. It's basically a desk light, is what it is. And it has, a clip and stuff on it so you can bend it out or turn it a little bit. I kind of keep it in one place because my desk is kind of hard to clip things onto. Another thing that people will tell you about lighting, especially if you're using a green screen, the way to make the green screen and whatever image you've got on the green screen look the best, where you don't have like those jagged little things around your head and stuff like that. You may still have a little bit of that, but this can help minimize it, is to have good backlighting, right? And in my case, my backlighting goes behind my my green screen. And I have these lights. You can look them up on Amazon, that are on stands, and they just shine in back of my green screen. And a lot of times, if I'm using the green screen, I will take the extra time before my stream actually happens or my video, and I will set my lights up, and I may have to move them around and stuff to get the best effect with my green screen. So, Terry, I hope that's helped a little bit. I know some people use ring lights and things like that. I have a ring light. I've used it maybe one time or two times. So it's not essential that you use a ring light. I think it's probably a matter of preference. For some people like it, some people don't. Um, and So the main thing that I use the green screens for is it's fun to use them and fun to see what kind of backgrounds you can use. And it also covers up this back here, right? If you don't want all the stuff surrounding your desk or wherever you do your live streams to be showing, hey, green screen is the perfect thing to to help minimize on that. Okay, cool. I sometimes forget exactly what brand, but you do a search on Amazon. And you know, the great thing about Amazon is, and me and Steve were talking about Amazon um, the other day, in that the thing about Amazon is if you buy it from Amazon and it doesn't work for your needs, guess what? You can send it back and get your money back, right? Amazon, I'm sure wouldn't like me saying that, but that's okay. Um, So if you get a light or something and it just doesn't work with your setup, guess what? You can send it back to Amazon. You can get something that you can use, right? Sometimes it's trial and error with things. Um, but I was going to put the link for the Discord in here. Like I said, it's free. You just click on the link, accept the invite, create your account, and we've got a bunch of different channels that you can talk about all kinds of things, from introducing yourself to movies to books to music and infinity and beyond, right? And so be sure to check that out if you're at all interested. I know some people aren't really interested in Discord, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I also have a Patreon, and the highest tier is $25 a month. It's getting ever darker around here, so I figure it's gonna get ready to rain or whatever here in just a bit. But I got about 3 minutes before I get off here, so. But the Deadites on Deck Patreon, there are 3 different tiers. Uh, so I can talk about the different tiers. Hold on here. Maybe I can. Okay. So the seller Deadite tier, which is $5 a month, and my good friend Victor joined this recently. And I'm going to be doing a video soon mentioning Victor joining because he gets a shout out for the month. New members will be recognized via a monthly video shout out, and you get the ability to vote on upcoming watch alongs and live stream topics. The $10 a month Henrietta Deadite tier. This is for the ultra fan of Deadites on Deck. You'll get all the perks from the first tier, plus access to exclusive commentaries not available for general consumption, live members only chats, and an exclusive Evil Dead Chick button. The $25 a month groovy tier. This is for the hardcore Deadites on Deck fan. This tier includes all the perks of the previous 2 tiers, plus the ability to request certain movies for the Deadites on Deck team to do watch-alongs for, and your choice of an official Deadites on Deck t-shirt, hat, or mouse pad that will look very much, the design will look very much like this one, only it will have Deadites on Deck on it as well. Right. Um, and of course, we have the sister channel, which me and Candace hopefully will be getting some content up on really soon. So I will also give y'all the link to Waiting on Woodstock channel. And also me and Steve's, we watch movies, right? Uh, so let me put that in there too. You know what? Hold on there. Oops. I got to switch account to. All right. So, I guess that's the same. Okay. Anyways, uh, Victor, yes, I'm glad you were, sir. Yes, I'm glad you reminded me of that. I am planning on doing Argento August. I know we're 2 days in, but um, how about I promise you next week we will start Argento August. And Victor is my man. He keeps me on the straight and narrow. He reminds me when I forget. Yeah, I can't believe it's already August either. Since I was thinking about it. So, Victor, hon, I hate to get off of here. I hope your wife don't mind me calling you hon. I call a lot of people hon as as a friendly thing. Um, I hate that you've come in here, and I'm just about ready to get off here, but I think we're either going to get some rain or another storm. I'm not sure which, but I want to make sure that I get done with this stream before that happens in case we lose power or, I don't think y'all want to see me get uh, struck by lightning here on my own stream. That might be exciting for a couple of seconds, but yeah. Um, but anyway, I guess I'm going to tie this up with a nice, neat little bow and get off of here for now. But yes, please stay tuned for Argento August, where it's going to be a lot of Argento coming up starting next week. Um, oh, well, tell Angie I said hi too. Um, I hope to see. I hope to see Angie in here some in the future. And Blissful says, have a beautiful day, everyone. Yes, I echo that. And without further ado, I am off like a dirty shirt, but I want to remind you guys and gals before I get off here to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic Friday, folks. Stay safe, and let's have a kick-ass weekend. And be sure to tune in for the couple of watch-alongs I'm going to have this weekend, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday and Sunday. Clockwork Orange on Saturday, and American Werewolf in London on Sunday. And I'm out of here, folks. I'll see you guys next time.